welcome to our Thanksgiving craft lesson. We are going to be making a really cool looking turkey, and we will be using something from nature. We're going to be using leaves. So I'm going to show you an image of what, a final image of what this craft is going to be. So here you go. We're going to be collecting leaves from outside. And we are going to be using the leaves to create the feathers of the turkey. And then the body of the turkey we're just going to simply color in, and we're going to glue everything down using white liquid glue. So before we get started, before we even get our materials out, you're going to need to pause the video and go outside and collect a bunch of leaves. So a bunch of leaves. So Sammy and I, yeah, here, I'll show them. So here's our huge pile of leaves. Sammy, here I have Sammy with me. Sammy and I, we took a walk and we collected all of these leaves. So before you continue going on with the lesson, you need a huge stockpile of leaves. And ideally you want a ton of different colors. These were all the colors that we could find. We found purples and browns and greens and yellows. A little hint of orange in some of them. We didn't find any red. Maybe you could find some red. This is what we found. So go ahead and you're gonna have to do your leaf collection before you can start and complete this entire craft. We're gonna be doing it in one video.
So pause if you don't have it, and then unpause.
Once you have your leaves collected, come back and I'm going to tell you the next materials we need. So if you're back with me, you have a huge pile of leaves. Oh, and ideally you want your leaves flat. So if you want, like with Sammy and I, we used some big books and we kind of squashed them down a little bit. They've kind of plumped back up. It's kind of hard to flatten leaves once they've fallen off of the trees, and even if you've picked them off some trees. So, yeah, ideally you were looking for some flat leaves. So go ahead, go get your leaves, come on back. And then these are going to be the materials you're going to need outside of the leaves. So if you're back with us right now, you are ready to begin. You are going to need something to color with. So I'm thinking that some markers would be nice for this. If you don't have markers, you could also use crayons or color pencils, anything with color to it. You're going to need that. You're also going to need liquid glue. Glue sticks will not work for this project. So you're going to need liquid glue. It doesn't have to be Elmer's. It could be whatever brand you have. You're going to need a pair of scissors. You need a pencil. And then from your art supplies, you're going to need three things. Your purple piece of paper that was given out, the turkey with the turkey body behind it, or the area for where we're going to be gluing the leaves. And then you need the turkey with the legs. So this is a half piece of paper. So go grab those supplies, come on back, and then press play, and you'll join us back, and we can get started. You ready, Sam? Okay, awesome. All right, we are ready to start. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors, and we're going to take this piece of paper right here with the turkey with the little circle around the turkey, and you're going to cut right along these lines. This is going to be the base of our project. We're going to be gluing this to the purple piece of paper. We're going to be gluing on top of this all the leaves down. We're not going to color this. This is just the base for us to have an outline for where our leaves are going to go. So I've cut this part out, and I'm not going to glue it on yet. I'm going to wait for Sam. He's cutting his piece. I had big adult scissors, so they tend to cut a little bit faster than the smaller scissors. So Sammy's cutting, you're cutting. And when you're done, we are going to put it on our purple piece of paper. Sam's almost done. Oh, I forgot to go over with you. So while Sam's cutting, I'm going to go over with you what we always go over about just our expectations of how to have a positive attitude during art. So we always want to try our best, first thing. If we get frustrated, we take a deep breath, count to 10, take another deep breath, and try it again. Remember that everyone's art is going to turn out differently. Your artwork is going to be uniquely yours. It's not going to look like mine or anyone else in the classes. And lastly, remember that art is not perfect. We're just having a good time trying. All right, you ready, Sam?
Kind of looks like a mushroom.
Oh, the paper the scrap that's left over, it looks like a mushroom. All right, so grab your pencil, and on your purple paper, just right in the middle, put your name. Okay.
Wait, why in the middle? Oh, in the back.
Yeah, we're gonna flip it over. So this is gonna be the back of your purple paper. So just write your name. It just has to be big and neat enough for your teacher to read it. Flip it over. Okay, and now we have our turkey, the base of our turkey. But before we glue it down, what I want to do is I want to just kind of plot and strategize some leaves. So go ahead and start picking some leaves, and if any of your leaves have the stem, you're going to want to snap the stem off. So just start strategizing. Go ahead, Sam. Just start strategizing where you want the leaves to go. And you can mix it up, or you can put all of the same leaf in one row. I'm going to show you the example. Time to get started, honey. You're drawing. I know, but we're doing our art here. So snap all the bottom, the little twigs off. And so this is what you're looking for. So this person used red as the back, some oranges in the middle layer, and then some more yellows in the front layer. You do what you want. If you want to do mix up colors within your layers, that's entirely up to you. So I'm just kind of looking at these leaves here. I'm snapping them off. I'm just kind of laying leaves down. We haven't glued the turkey down, and we haven't glued the leaves down. I'm just kind of playing with it. Oh man, I just
long
a whole leaf in half.
Art lesson.
All right, let's see. We're just kind of going through our leaves. It can be any kind of assortment of leaves. Sammy and I found some leaves that were dead on the ground, and then we found some leaves that were still pretty green. But you decide. But make sure you snap the stem off. And ideally, you want the leaf to be as flat as possible for the gluing. This is gonna...
Can you cut the stem off with scissors?
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Cut the stem off with the scissors.
It's gonna be a very long art lesson, like I said already.
You think it's gonna be long or not long?
Very long.
Oh, you think very long? Oh, really? I was kind of thinking it was gonna be pretty short.
Oh, okay. Let's just keep on thinking that.
Okay, so I have 2 rows there. This is just our base, because watch what we're gonna do. When we're all done gluing the leaves down, we're gonna color in the turkey and the feet, cut it out, and we're gonna glue it on top.
Wait, what? That doesn't make any sense, because
this is just our base to keep us, to give us guidance for where to put the leaves. Okay. So here we go. Just kind of be building up your turkey however you'd like to do it. Like I said, you can mix the colors. Sammy's doing some mixing. You can do all the same colors in one layer. It's really up to your creative process, what you'd like to do. So Sammy and I decided we're going to cut the stems off. That was a great suggestion, Sammy. All right, I kind of have a good idea of how I want my leaves to be. We did. We got a ton of leaves. So here's mine. Sammy's going over here. We have a ton of leaves that he's picking through right here. It's better, there's a saying, better feast than famine. So it's better to have more than not enough. So when we're done, we can put the others in compost, but these were just leaves that were falling off the trees anyway. Okay, I kind of have an idea of how I want my leaves to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to kind of push my leaves off. And I know that I had a good...
I think mine's done and it's in the order.
Okay, so what I'm going to point out to Sammy, so see that white part right
Here?
here?
Yeah.
See that white part right there? You're going to want to cover that because in the end, that white part is going to be exposed if you don't cover that. So exposed, yes. You don't want any of the white around the turkey showing. So just do a couple layers, and even right here you want layers. So Sammy's going to be covering up those white spots with different colored leaves. He's loving those deep, deep purple leaves. Those are beautiful, Sammy. Okay, awesome. And you might want to cover that right there. So Sammy's covering up all the white spots, and it doesn't matter if you get some of the turkey covered because that's just the base to guide you. Okay, Sammy, beautiful. All right, so now what we're going to do, you could push the leaves up and go ahead and turn the base. This is just your guidance turkey. Turn that over and open up your liquid glue and just...
Wait, what?
We didn't glue that down yet. So just push the leaves up and don't worry, you'll be able to guide them again.
Okay.
Yeah, so push the leaves up, turn that over, and remember a little bit of glue goes a long way, so we're just gonna do a little line around like this. If you see here, I'm gonna pop it up so you can see. Sam, check it out. A little bit of glue goes a long way. So here, I've just done around the edges of the turkey, and I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to glue it down a little bit above where the purple paper, a little bit above the bottom of the purple paper, maybe like the tip of your finger, that much length. Good job. And if you're not with us, just press the pause button and press play when you are with us and come back. Beautiful. Okay, so now what you want to do, you can bring your leaves back down, and this is kind of how my turkey was laid out. And I'm going to just kind of bring the leaves down that were on the top 2 layers. I'm going to bring it down kind of like this, okay? And I'm going to start with my back layer of leaves. So I can kind of bring these, and remember, it doesn't have to be exactly how you had it to begin with.
Glue this down first?
Yeah, we're going to start gluing the leaves. So here's my suggestion for you. When you're going to glue the leaf, you turn it to the side that you don't want showing, and you're going to take the glue and you're going to kind of go all over the leaf. Okay, just like that. Then you're going to put the leaf down. Put the leaf down and just kind of push on it and hold it there for like maybe 10 seconds. So that part, see how, hang on, I'm going to show them. See how the leaf is kind of bending like this? That should be the top. The back should be where it's flipping up. That's going to be easier for you to press it down on your paper. Okay? So go ahead and do that. That's the back side. Yeah. So I'm going to hold down and maybe count to 10 in my head. Okay. And, if I need to come back and, press down on it again, I can. But I'm going to move on to my next leaf. So see how the leaf is wanting to kind of, like you could tell that's how it wants to rest, as opposed to that's not going to glue down very well. So that's how it's going to glue down best. So I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to go around the leaf, all around. Remember, a little bit of glue goes a long way. And I'm just going to keep doing this all the way around. So I'm going to kind of press down, maybe count to 10 in my head. Okay. Come up, and then I'm just going to do the next leaf. I'm going to flip it over to where it would lay best whichever side it would lay best down on your paper, that's the side that you want to glue it on. So I'm going to flip it over and I'm putting the glue down. And I'm going to glue again. And I'm going to press it. And each time I can even press down on the leaves that I've already glued down. So I'm pressing down 5 to 10 seconds or so. Okay. Again, my next leaf, if any of the leaves you feel are too dusty, you can always wipe them off with like a paper towel or with a wet wipe, that you need to make sure they're dry before you glue them. So this leaf is going to rest best like this, so I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put the glue on that side. I'm just going to put glue all over so it catches. And press that one down. So I'm about 4 leaves in to my gluing down. Go with the pace that works best for you. Okay. And take this leaf, flip it over, put the glue on the side that I feel and I can tell is going to lay best down. And I'm going to do this side. And I'm going to make sure, do you see how I kind of came up? If I go too far in, you're going to see the white. You don't want to see any of that white paper. Okay, make sure the edges all the way around. You don't see any of your white paper as you're gluing down. And just pressing down for 5 to 10 seconds, holding it down. Every time I can just keep pressing on the ones I've already glued down. And at the very, very end, if you feel like putting a heavy book on top of this so that it presses it down and the glue can dry on it, you can do that. You can put a paper towel between the book and your project so that the book doesn't get any glue on it. And I've just done my first layer, and some of them are popping up. Some of the leaves are popping up. That's okay. Like I said, I think what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put a big book on mine when I'm all done. Okay, so now I'm going to do the next layer. So I've done all the way across, and now I'm going to take my next leaf, and I'm going to make sure that I cover up the white paper. So I feel like when I lay this down, it's best if it's laid this way. So I'm going to turn that over, and I'm going to just keep putting glue on my leaves. How you doing, Sam?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No, I actually don't.
Oh, I think you're doing great. Okay, I'm going to press that down.
So the one that's bending goes like...
Yes, good job. Very nice.
Okay.
So I'm just going to put a little pressure on. And maybe a leaf cracks or breaks, and that's okay.
Crack, break.
Okay, and then I'm going to go on to my next leaf. I'm going to look to see which way is best, what I think is going to, how it's going to lay best. This one's tricky. This one actually could really go either way, I feel like. But I think I'm going to have it put the glue on this side. Good job, Sam. All right. Keep putting them down, and it's okay that I'm going over my turkey right here, because that is just what's guiding me. That's not the turkey we're gonna see at the end. But I guess I would say don't go too far over it, actually. And if you want, you can even tear, if some of it's really getting far into the turkey's face, you can even kind of tear it, so that there isn't a ton of layers, because we're going to do one more layer of leaves. So I think I'm going to, just kind of playing with mine, I think I might even cut this right here off. Because like I said, I'm going to do one more layer of leaves. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Sammy's doing a beautiful job. Can't wait to see what everybody's turns out to look like. I think that will be best this way.
Hurry up.
No, take your time. It's fine.
So I went to the bathroom when you were doing like half of this.
I know. I wasn't going to share that, but if you don't mind, yeah, that's fine. Sammy kind of took off for a minute there to go to the bathroom. Okay, I think I'm going to cut a little bit of this one off. See how I did that, Sam? I'm on my second layer now, and I cut some of the leaf off so that there isn't like a ton on top of the base of my turkey here. Because I'm going to do one more layer of leaves. All right, I'm just going to keep going. Everybody's working on their leaves, putting their leaves down, whatever formation that you've come up with for your leaves. Everyone's is going to be really different. And if you've squirted some of your glue out, no big deal. You can always get a tissue or a paper towel and wipe it up. I like how you're doing all those colors all randomly, Sammy. Okay.
Purple's gonna be the most dominant because I really like that color of the leaf.
You do? Yeah, I liked how those purple leaves turned out.
I do like green more than purple, like if it was a normal color, but I like the purple leaves more than the green ones.
You do? Okay. All right. All right, I'm just pushing my leaves down. It's going to take a while for my glue to dry, which is fine. It's going to be well after the lesson is over. Yeah, there you go. Right there, like that, Sam. Good. All right, I think I might need another leaf to end this, because look, I have this white showing right here, so I'm going to need one more leaf. So I'm going to go like that right there. So you don't see any of my white construction paper, or my white copy paper. It's really a copy. All right. And the beautiful purple background, you can see that nicely. Yeah. All right. So I'm pushing on my leaves. I just finished my second layer. So I'm going to be going on to my third layer of leaves pretty soon. And then me personally, I'll be done with gluing my leaves down. You are working at your own pace. All right, so my next layer, I'm going to do these beautiful, oh, I didn't do any purple. Maybe I'll like alternate purple and yellow. So I'm going to take my scissors, and because I don't want to go too far into my turkey, I'm going to kind of cut some of the leaf off, and I'm going to do a layer right here. Turn it over. Glue it down like this, and then I have a third layer, and then like I said, I think I'm gonna pop in some purple. All right. Were you back when I was telling them about using a book at the end to weight it down?
Nope.
You weren't here? Okay, so I was telling your buddies that, your friends, that in the end what we can do is use a book to help flatten and dry and make sure the project dries all glued down. You can use like a heavy book.
This is going to take a lot of glue for me.
That's okay. All right, I'm almost done with my third layer of leaves. All right, I'm just pushing down. You could do this too, Sam. Once you put one down, you just put like all your two hands down. Like you could do it over all of your leaves, kind of like spread out your hands. Yeah, like that. That's great. I was telling them too that you can even count to 10 in your head between each one you glue.
There.
You were there for that one? Okay. All right. So I'm going to keep going. My yellow flowers are really, my yellow leaves are pretty thick. And so they're not really staying down. So I definitely am going to use a book.
How do I glue it? This way?
Yes, on that side.
That's way.
And then, Sammy, if you want to start cutting, oh no, you're on your second layer, never mind. I was going to say you can start cutting as it's going into the turkey. You can kind of cut some of it. All right. So if you see here that these yellow leaves are really thick, and so they're not staying down as well as my thinner leaves are, and that's okay. Okay, so I'm kind of doing like a yellow and purple pattern going around the last layer for my feathers, for my turkey feathers. And then we're going to get to the coloring.
Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought that was going to be in the next part. I feel that's in like the next video.
No, we're just doing one video.
Whoa.
Okay, and then you have all that white area over there. And then right here, you're going to want to put a leaf or two. So you could even mix up some brown on that side if you wanted, or if you wanted a bigger leaf, you could do something like that, but make sure you cut the stem off. Okay, so I'm going to cut that. See how I'm cutting some of the leaf off too? That can, but you're still on the outside. Okay, I am going to be gluing down my last leaf. I'm going to put all the pressure down like this. So Sam, I would say you need a leaf right here, and right here. You need 3 more leaves, I would say. So one right here, and maybe even like another brown one right here. You can cut this, because this is going to get way down into your turkey.
Yeah, I'm going to put this one right here.
Oh, okay, sure. Wherever you want to put it. All right. So what I'm going to advise you guys to do right now, everybody, is I want you to finish up your leaves. Once you're done gluing all the leaves down and you have all the white of around the turkey covered. So of course I still have some white right here. This is the turkey. But once you have everything on the outside of your turkey.
Mom, if you put too much glue, does it not stick?
No, it'll stick.
For some reason, it's not sticking.
No, just be patient with it. Here, I'm going to hold down here. You start gluing these other two, because we're going to go on, you and I are going to go on to the coloring, and your friends, if they need to pause and keep going with the leaves, they're going to do that, and then they're going to come back and join us for the coloring. So I would put the glue on that side. Okay, so I'm helping Sammy put a little pressure on his leaves. I'm putting some pressure. He's going to glue down one more leaf after this, it looks like. You need one more right for that area right there.
No.
I'm going to show him, okay? So look, Sammy's, go ahead and put your hands up just for a second. Sammy, point to the part where you need to cover it, but lift your other hand. Yeah. Sammy has that tiny little, it's like a square of white outside of his turkey. So he is going to glue that down, and then he's going to go get and just leave it, honey. It'll dry. I promise.
It's like not even on.
It is. It is. I'm going to put a heavy book on top, and so no need to worry. Okay, so what you can do right now is you could go get a big heavy book. So like this guy right here is super heavy, okay?
Oh, that's why you got this.
Yeah. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get like a paper towel to be between the two. Okay? So
Please stand by.
paper towel. I'm gonna put my paper towel on top like this, and then I'm gonna put it off to the side. I'm gonna put a heavy book on, okay? But before you put the paper towel down, if there's any glue sticking out, you want to really, you want to dab it with your paper towel or with a tissue. So let's go like this, Sam. Go ahead and put yours to the side of you, like this.
Yeah, it's really falling off.
That's okay. Put it to the side of you like this. And we're gonna put the paper towel on top, like this. And then we're gonna put a heavy book on top, okay? So, Sammy and I'm gonna show you. Here's mine.
Sit on the book so I can finally reach.
Sammy's sitting on his book. He's really flattening it.
Wheel.
All right, we're gonna get going to the next part. So, grab this right here, which is your turkey with the feet. Grab your markers or your crayons or your colored pencils, whatever you're gonna use to color. Go ahead and get out your brown, and you can start coloring in your turkey.
And you can go outside the lines.
Oh, yeah.
Cut it.
Totally.
Just great.
You can go outside the lines, but don't get too messy with, don't get messy with the face. Make sure that the eyes, you don't go into the eyes or the other details of the face. You're gonna color everything in. Coloring everything in, and this is the last part of what we're gonna do. Okay, so this will take maybe another, not even 5 minutes. Take your time. Go around the turkey. Oh, I kind of got a little bit of into the eye. That's okay. I'm doing my best. All right. So I accidentally got I told you guys to be careful, and then I got a little bit in the eye. That's okay. I'm going to be flexible. Then I'm going to color the beak. I'm going to color everything in, including the feet. And then we're going to be cutting it out. And the very last step is gluing it down on top of where we had, where we were doing our leaves. So if you have not finished coloring, that's fine, no big deal. Press the pause button, finish coloring, and then go ahead and come back to where we are, and you can start cutting out your turkey. Everyone's going at their own pace.
No. Got a little in the eye.
That's okay, so did I. We're just all doing our very best. And once you cut the body out, if you're not done cutting the body, press the pause button and come on back, and then you can do the feet with me.
I'm going to do the big yellow.
Okay. All right. I'm cutting the feet out. I'm almost done with the first foot, and then I just have one more foot to cut out. If you're not with me, you can press the pause button and come on back as soon as you are with me. All right. And as soon as we're done cutting out the last foot, then we're ready to glue the turkey and the feet on, and then we're done. So just another minute or two. All right, so I've colored, I've cut. Now I'm gonna put this off to the side a little bit, and I'm gonna lift up my book, and I am going to put my purple paper back down, and I'm gonna take the body of my turkey that I colored, turn it over. I'm gonna put just a tiny bit of glue around the perimeter of the body, and I'm gonna turn it over and push it down. Okay, maybe count to 10. And when I'm done with this, I can even put the book back on again, the heavy book. Okay, then I'm gonna glue the feet down, and then we're done. Here's one foot. I'm gonna have that foot sticking out that way. This is why I wanted you to glue it up above, about an inch or so. Up above where the purple paper started. Okay, and my second foot's down, and voila, all done. What do you think, Sam?
Hold on, I'm cutting my leg. That was good.
Sam's almost done cutting. Okay, so
Actually, I just started with my leg.
Yeah, but you're almost done. You have just those two things left. So I'm gonna end it here. Sammy's gonna keep working. We're gonna put the book back on to put some pressure on so that the leaves dry and adhere to the purple paper. But otherwise, when you're finished, I'd like you, after you're done, I want you to clean up your workstation. You can compost the leaves, or you can throw them back outside. Put your scraps away. Put all your art materials in your supply area for your school, where you have all your school supplies, because we're of course going to be using these art materials again and again. Your name is already on the back because we did that at the beginning of the lesson. I would like you to put this in a safe place to dry so that no siblings and no pets can get to it. And then when it's all dry, paper clip it to your finished artwork and turn it in at the next pickup. All right, sound good, Sam?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, we will see you next time. Sam is still a work in progress, and he's still sitting on his leaves right there.
And still reached the steering wheel.
So we will see you for our next project.
Bye.